You leave the session feeling genuinely lighter. Something shifted in there. You said things out loud you'd never said before. Your therapist reflected something back to you, and it landed perfectly. You drove home feeling like you finally understood yourself. By Thursday, you're back in the same loop. Same anxiety, same self-doubt, same patterns with the same people. And you start wondering, what's wrong with me that I can't hold on to this? Nothing is wrong with you. But there's something worth understanding about how insight actually works in the brain. The session gives you understanding. Life asks for something different. In the therapy room, you're in a very specific state. You're sitting still. You're being listened to without judgment. There's no threat, no performance, no one needing anything from you. Your nervous system is regulated enough to think clearly, maybe for the first time all week. From that calm place, you can see your patterns. You can trace them back. You can connect the dots between your childhood and your current relationship and that thing you keep doing. It feels like breakthrough. And it is. In that state. But then you go home. Your partner says something that hits wrong. Your boss sends a tense email. You're tired. You're hungry. Someone needs something from you. And the part of your brain that learned to survive not, the part that just had an insight, takes over. Here's the thing nobody explains clearly enough. Understanding something and responding differently to it are two completely separate skills. Understanding lives in your prefrontal cortex, the thinking, reasoning, reflecting part of your brain. But your patterns, your automatic reactions, those live deeper, in the parts that run on muscle memory, on conditioning, on years of repetition. You can fully understand why you shut down when someone raises their voice, and still shut down when someone raises their voice. Because understanding is not the same as rewiring. The insight fades because insight was never the mechanism for change. Think about it this way. You can read everything there is to know about riding a bike. The physics, the balance, the technique. You can understand it completely. But your body only learns to ride by actually riding. By wobbling, by almost falling, by correcting, over and over, until your nervous system figures it out. Emotional patterns work the same way. The session gives you the map. But the rewiring happens between sessions, in the actual moments when the old pattern wants to activate, and you do something slightly different. Not perfectly different, just slightly. So why does it feel like the insight disappears? Because your daily life keeps pulling you back into the same emotional state where the pattern originally formed. You go back to the same job, the same relationship dynamics, the same apartment, the same stress responses. Your brain is not broken. It's extremely good at pattern matching. It reads the environment and says, I know what this situation requires. I've been here before. And it runs the old program, the part nobody wants to hear. Therapy is not a place where change happens. Therapy is a place where you see what needs to change. The actual change? That happens in your Tuesday, in your Wednesday night, in the moment when you feel the impulse to do the old thing, and you pause, even for 2 seconds. Even if you still do the old thing anyway, that pause is the work, not the session. And here's something even harder. Part of you might not be ready for the change yet. Not because you're weak, but because the old pattern has been keeping you safe, at least in the way your nervous system understands safety. Shutting down protected you from emotional flooding. People-pleasing kept relationships from feeling dangerous. Staying busy prevented you from sitting with feelings that had nowhere to go. Your nervous system learned these things for a reason. It's not going to unlearn them just because you had a really good 50-minute conversation. What actually helps the insight stick? Not more sessions, not more understanding. Repetition in real life. Every time you notice the pattern starting to activate, even if you can't stop it, and you name what's happening internally, you're doing the work. I'm shutting down right now. I'm about to apologize for something that isn't my fault. I'm people-pleasing because this moment feels emotionally unsafe. That noticing, done consistently, starts to create a small gap between the trigger and the automatic response. The gap is where you actually live differently, not in the session. In the gap, the insight doesn't disappear. It just hasn't had enough repetitions yet to compete with a pattern that's had years of practice. You're not failing therapy. You're learning that understanding yourself and living differently are two separate journeys that have to happen at the same time. The session is one part. Your Thursday is the other. Most people think something is wrong with them when the clarity fades. But clarity was never meant to be permanent. It was meant to be a direction. You have to walk that direction again and again until your nervous system finally believes it's safe to go there.